Welcome to Tesla Truck Channel. It's after Christmas. Everyone's had a good holiday, I hope. And now that you're all rested and sober and got all your presents open, I think I wanted to bring this conversation to a couple of items that I missed about the truck in my last video featuring some of the things that it has that they didn't really emphasize at the viewing. At the unveiling. And I had to watch that thing a couple of times to kind of catch everything that they had shown on the screen, but it wasn't mentioned. Once again, if you recall, I think Elon was shook by the glass breaking, so he was gathering his thought process and kind of just show some stuff on the projector, but didn't mention it. So I'm gonna go ahead and revisit a few of those things and talk a little bit more about it. So let me start by pulling up this picture here. All right. So here's interesting. He had shown this picture on the projector, right? And this picture in the middle confirms that there's this in-bed storage compartment. The front trunk or the frunk. I'm gonna call it front trunk because I don't like that word frunk. It's kind of weird. Is shown here, so we can definitely expect that to be present on production. Now, on the right picture, this was the one thing that I kind of missed, and because you have to remember, this slide came on for like just a few seconds, and then they switch gears, right? So I totally missed this right here. And the reason why I brought this to attention is because this is a really neat looking feature here. It is a side compartment behind that triangular shape where it slopes down. And if you look at it carefully, right now it's kind of hard to see. I'm not exactly sure if it's a compartment or maybe this is what the compressor hookup is, but that's possibly where it could be. Or maybe they had just thrown something in there to store. But what's neat about this feature here is that this panel opens up, right? And earlier, I remember on Twitter, someone talked about having solar panels, and Elon mentioned this. So I'm going to show you the tweet right here. So he said, will be an option to add solar power that generates 50 miles per day, possibly more. Would love this to be self-power. Adding full out solar wings would generate 30 to 40 miles per day. Average miles per day in US is 30. So I was thinking to myself, what is he talking about? Like, where would you put the wings um, inside this truck to give that kind of surface area, right? So now that we have this picture, we can kind of guess that this is one wing on one side and then obviously on the other. And in my previous video, you guys have seen that I took a guess that perhaps they're gonna put solar panel on on that pull out ramp. Let me see if I can grab that picture and show you guys just for a quick reference. Okay, here we go. So this is the one where I mentioned that there's possibly solar panels here on this pull out ramp because this is what they put on stage and not what the promotional render of the vehicle shows. So if you have all these pull out areas where they can add solar panel, that actually adds a tremendous amount of surface area for them to put that on and charge the vehicle. So if the roof can do 15 miles, right, this possibly can do another maybe 10. And if these two wings can also add a little bit more, I mean, it isn't out of reach to assume that with all of these features, if they happen to have all these things in place and put solar panels in them, that you can get up to 30 and 40 miles. So I think that's where the figure comes from. For him, this right here, if you added this 15, and I guess the rest can give you 15 if you add up all this surface area. So that's pretty neat. I mean, it might be, I don't know how much more expensive that would be. I hope it's within a reasonable price point. If it is, this vehicle you can literally like take this thing off the grid for such a long time and not have to worry about it. I think that if anyone enjoys camping or being out in the wilderness with this thing, Man, this is so neat to have that charging range while you're just hanging out doing your thing. Okay, so that is a feature that I wanted to bring to attention because this I was just really confused about the wings because I couldn't figure out where he was gonna put them, but now we can see why. Um, in the prototype on stage, what's weird is that this portion here is extremely long, right? And the angle is not as steep. It's the slope here is really gentle, whereas right here in this render, this panel it doesn't look as long, but it seems to have like more height to it. And even this triangle area right here, this looks like it's taller and narrower. And I don't know, I know that's partly because of the angle of the camera taken, but in my mind I was just thinking like this looks a little bit different, and this panel looks to be like shorter but taller. Well, shorter, but the depth of it is more than what's in this particular showcase prototype. So I think we can assume that the prototype may not have had this. They may not have had time to put this on. So I don't know. They didn't show it in on stage. They just showed it in the projector. So that's all we're gonna go based on. So we'll leave it at that. The other thing that they mentioned. Let me see if I can grab that picture here. Okay, so this slide was also there for just a few seconds, but full self-driving, we know that that's an option. We know that you can add that on for like $7,000. It may be more expensive when the time comes to add it on if you choose not to do it at the ordering or the reservation stage right now. So if you feel like that's a needed feature, you should probably add it on. Auto park. See, this is, I don't know if any of the current Teslas already have this because I don't own any of them, but the slide says auto parking, so that's great. Trailer docking, and of course that's really for people who likes to get things onto the hitch and use some kind of camera and alignment. And right now a lot of new trucks have these rear cameras that allows you to see the trailer, and it gives you like a line, kind of like how when you put your car in reverse, and then it gives you that line and projects where the angle of the vehicle is going to be. The trailer docking will probably be something similar to that, and it will allow you to align the trailer much easier. So these are the features that they have shown on the stage. Let me see what else they got here. Okay, well, this is just performance. We already got these figures. 2.9 seconds, quarter mile in 10.8 seconds. Corners like it's on rails. Okay, so those are some of the features that I missed when I was doing my video on the features that they didn't mention. So I had to go back and watch it and take a little screenshot just to show you guys. All right, I'm hoping that covers most of the features of what they had mentioned on the stage. If there's more that I've missed, or if they tweet more things out, I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys know. That way you guys can be up to date and just subscribe, like, cowbell, any of that stuff. Do whatever you like to help me grow this channel and bring you guys fresh information as it comes. And obviously this information is like a month old. It's just that there were so many other things that caught our attention, and even for me included, that I had to go back and check it out. So I hope I don't miss anything. All right, thank you.